Juror number 2 has had an incredibly weird release strategy, with this plan being immensely confusing after Clint Eastwood's $173 million box office hit from only 6 years ago. Clint Eastwood is one of the biggest figures in Hollywood, with him starring in and directing movies for the better part of a decade now and consistently being critically and commercially successful. Despite Clint Eastwood's involvement, however, the director's newest film Juror number 2 hasn't gotten a wide theatrical release. This strange decision from Warner Bros. Pictures has been the subject of much conversation, with it limiting access to Juror number 2. 2024's Juror number 2 is the latest film from superstar icon Clint Eastwood, and while he has directed it, he isn't starring in this one. Instead, the cast of Juror number 2 stars Nicholas Hoult, while major actors like Zoe Deutch, Toni Collette, Kiefer Sutherland, and J.K. Simmons make up the supporting cast. The film follows a juror in a high-profile murder case who realizes that he may have actually been the one to kill the victim, with him spending the film attempting to decide what he should do. The film has gotten incredibly positive reviews, but that hasn't helped its performance. Clint Eastwood proved he could still deliver big box office hits with The Mule. It was only 6 years ago. Clint Eastwood has been consistently directing movies for the past few decades, and he has proven that he can still direct box office hits as recently as 6 years ago. One of Eastwood's more recent films was 2018's The Mule, with it also starring Eastwood. The film follows a struggling 90-year-old who decides to become a drug mule for the Mexican cartel, with the crime thriller being one of Eastwood's most memorable movies of the 2010s. Against a budget of only $50 million, The Mule made $174.8 million, with the film being a major box office success. After the success of The Mule, Clint Eastwood's next film came out only a year later, with this being 2019's Richard Jewell. Despite being critically acclaimed, Richard Jewell made only $44.6 million against a budget of $45 million, making it a slight commercial failure. After that, Eastwood's 2021 movie Cry Macho was released simultaneously on HBO Max and in theaters, leading to it getting only $16.5 million. However, these two films both have details that can explain their relatively poor box office performances, with this not taking away from The Mule's successes. Juror number 2's box office suggests it could have been another success with a proper theatrical release. Like Eastwood's other films. Although Juror number 2 has had a strange theatrical release, the film's success has proven that it could have been a hit with a proper theatrical release. Warner Bros. Decided to only release Juror number 2 in 50 theaters in its domestic debut, with this leaving many Clint Eastwood fans scratching their heads. Despite this incredibly limited release, Juror number 2 made an estimated $5 million in its 50-theater release, with this being a surprising success for how few theaters the movie was released in. Since Juror number 2 has been an overwhelming success in its limited release, this is a sign that the film could have been a success if it were to be expanded to a wide release. Clint Eastwood's track record of box office hits alongside Juror number 2's relative success is a sign that the film may have been another hit for the director. However, it is impossible to say for sure due to the fact that Warner Bros. Has failed to expand the film's release. Why Warner Bros. Didn't give Juror number 2 a wide theatrical release? The film was originally streaming only. The decision for Warner Bros. To not give Juror number 2 a wide theatrical release is the subject of a lot of conversation, leading to some speculation as to why the company did this. It is mainly due to Warner Bros. Originally planning for Juror number 2 to be released straight to Max, as was the case with other recent movies like Salem's Lot. However, the studio instead decided to give Juror number 2 an incredibly limited release, leading to its current release plan. Interestingly, Juror number 2 did get a wide release in the UK, with it being shown at more than 300 theaters. This could be due to differing movie tastes in the UK and North America, and the box office returns from the UK could end up proving if Warner Bros.' release strategy was right or wrong. The Max release date for Juror number 2 still hasn't been announced, but many North American Clint Eastwood fans can't wait for the opportunity to see the film.